Have you ever wondered what it would be like to find faithful leaders in your organization? My name is Nick Newman, and today you are going to be listening to Session 3 of the Identifying Leaders e-course. Do me a favor before we jump in, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you get updated when I post new content. But man, I'm so excited because you are just about to hear how to find faithful leaders in your church or organization. Let's dive in. Well, hey, welcome to Session 3 of the Identifying Leaders e-course. My name is Nick Newman, and I'm excited to dive into our content today. We are talking about faithful leaders. How do you identify leaders who are faithful? So here's the big thing. I love leaders who are faithful because I think we've all been a part of teams or organizations where when things got difficult, people just started jumping ship. The truth is, as you and I are looking for faithful leaders, we are not looking for people who jump ship when things get difficult. We're looking for people who are willing to stay in the boat, even when the waves get a little bit big, even when things get a little bit rocky. We're looking for those kind of people who are loyal to the organization, not because this is cultish or anything like that. We're looking for people who are willing to say, I believe God has called me to this organization to make a difference. And because He's called me here to make a difference, whether the wind blows or the storms come, I know that because this is where God has planted me, I'm willing to faithfully commit myself to these people. Because you don't need people in your organization in leadership that aren't committed to the cause. The hardship doesn't just terrify these kinds of leaders who aren't committed to the cause. They're not committed because they haven't resolved in their heart to weather the storms no matter what comes. You need people who have a heart for your house. So how do you find those people? Here's 3 things, and we know this from what Jesus teaches. Number 1, you look at those people who are faithful with their time. Now this may sound crazy to you, but leaders who show up early are my favorite people on the planet. I think if you show up on time, you're late. And if you show up early, you're on time. You show up on time, you're late. Like I believe that wholeheartedly, because when somebody shows up early and they're eager and they're energized, it shows you and I that people understand that what we're doing here matters. So who are those people who are faithful with their time? I think time is one of the things that is so disrespectful to take from people as well, because time is actually the only thing that you can take from somebody that they can never get back. So who are those leaders who faithfully invest their time into your organization? Those leaders who you can count on that their yes is their yes, that they are fully committed, they are all in. Because the truth is, key tip here, remember that priorities determine engagement. Priorities determine engagement. So if somebody's not coming to your organization, I'm just going to be very candid with you. Your organization is not a priority to them. Those people who you have on your teams that serve every now and then, or they show up, and when they are serving only once a month, when you have sit one, serve one in place, they serve once a month, sit one, serve one, and not only that, they show up late on the one day a month that they do serve. They're not committed because their priorities are just not in line with where your organization is at. So look for those people who are faithful with their time. Who are the people who come to you first with problems rather than just talk about those problems with other people on the team? Number 2, their talent. These leaders who are faithful leverage their gifts that God has given them rather than just focusing on what they're not good at. So when I'm engaging with someone in a conversation, I'm always looking for how they talk about themselves. Because there's a such thing as humility, right? But there's also false humility. So if there's a leader who always tells you what they're not good at and what they can't do, and those are not the kind of leaders that you need in a high level position. You need the leaders who know this is what my gifts are. This is who God's called me to be. And I think the best news for you and I is if you have a lot of people in your organization that don't know that, You get to help them do that. That's why you're here. You exist to help these people discover their purpose and live it out and make a difference in the kingdom of God. So help them do that. Help them figure out those unique giftings and callings. You need leaders who know their strengths and their weaknesses because they're faithful to themselves and understanding. They're self-aware leaders. Who are the leaders in your organization that are using the gifts? Maybe they're not leaders yet. Who are the people in your organization who are using their gifts and making a big impact? And number third is treasure. These leaders are invested in what's going on. Now, at Propel Church, for you to be in a high-level leadership position, we have a 4-tier leadership pipeline. Once you step into the second tier, we hold you to a standard of giving. Because here's what I believe wholeheartedly. You can invest with your time, but if you're not invested with your wallet, there's still a priority disconnect. Not only you're not investing in the organization, but you're not being faithful to trust God financially. So there's this area of spiritual deficit in your life that needs to be addressed. Who are the leaders who are invested into what's going on? Because the truth is, you invest into what matters, and you invest in what you believe in. Giving is directly connected to the faithfulness of the people in your organization. So pastors, here's what I would encourage you to do. Don't be afraid to pull giving reports. I know you may say, well, I don't want anything to do with the finances. That's fine. Let your financial people pull the records of specific individuals that you're looking at for leadership positions. Some of the best leaders in our organization now were people who I had a tough conversation with early on that said, hey, I see great leadership potential in you, but there's one thing that would hold you back. And it's the fact that currently you don't give faithfully to Propel. And those leaders, because of those hard conversations, have grown into some of the highest capacity leaders in our church. So who are those leaders who are faithful? Key tip for you and I to remember today is that people invest into what they believe in. People invest into what they believe in. Closing thought is that faithfulness is directly tied to fruitfulness. I believe that as you and I empower leaders and look at those who are faithful, I believe you'll see the fruit of that in your ministry. You'll see that their faithfulness was directly connected to the fruitfulness of what you're seeing going on.